This is a Headgum podcast.
Welcome to The Downside. Oh, wait, let me see what day this is
coming out.
Oh my God, happy anniversary.
Of what?
This is Russell's favorite day of the year.
No, it's
October 7th when he made his Broadway debut.
I did make my Broadway debut.
We will never
October
forget it.
20.
I still have to make the shirt for
yeah.
you that says October 7th, best day of my life.
Okay.
Incredible.
Okay.
It's same year too. Same year.
Same day.
Same day.
Yeah.
2 years ago?
Yeah.
2 years ago.
2 years
Incredible.
ago.
What was the play?
Gutenberg,
Okay.
the musical. It's a 2-person show. Josh Gad was out sick, and I stepped in.
Yeah. You know that thing where they say all the Jewish people knew that 9/11 was happening, so they didn't go to work that day?
I've never heard that.
That thing they say?
That's. I mean,
Who's they?
just that's. I know that's one of the conspiracies that they.
Yeah.
I mean,
they told Gad.
Gad. Maybe he knew.
No, he came back. He did the second show, so it was just
Really.
In the same way that Giuliani came back after 9/11 and was like, it's time to laugh again.
Yeah. It's the same day.
Yeah.
It's time to sing again.
Yeah.
It's time to dance. What a day.
What a day.
What a day for that to happen on.
Yeah, where were you? That's a good question.
I was with my friends.
I have an
People
alibi.
asking,
No, I have an
what's your alibi?
I was doing a gig in it was a bad gig.
Yeah.
It was my God, there's one in Chicago, the same club, but there was a bowling alley on top of the venue.
Oh.
And it was like a bad gig, and I was really depressed. And Tovah and I, my girlfriend, do you know Tovah?
Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you know from?
I met her ages ago in LA at something, and then every time you mention her, I'm like, I met that woman once.
Yeah. We were in a bad place. And she was celebrating you going on Broadway.
She did not let it on to me in my moment of...
She's fighting a lot of demons that day. I know. It was one of those days.
You can't call them that. You can't say that, Gianmarco.
And you don't even know which side we're talking about.
Correct.
Exactly.
This is The Downside.
1, 2, 3. Downside. You're listening to The Downside.
The Downside.
With Gianmarco Soresi.
This is The Downside. I'm here with my co-host Russell Daniels.
Hi.
And we are very lucky to be joined by a special guest comedian, Demi Adejuyigbe.
Hello.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Have we met before?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Just making sure.
I mean, I would never know, honestly. I feel like there are people where it's like, we met, and they're like, oh, good to see you. I'm like, oh, and then later they're like, I always say that because in case we have met, and I forgot. I forget everybody all the time.
Yeah.
I feel like
not great.
you've been of the internet for so long. A lot of people must feel like they kind of know you or grew up with you.
Which is strange because I feel like my comedy is very impersonal. Like, I don't think it's from my life in any way. So I'm like, what do you know?
Yeah. Like I've someone wrote a poem recently and it was about my videos helping their suicidal thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And that makes sense.
To get worse, yeah. It's helping him along.
Yeah.
It's helping speed this thing up.
They're helping get the courage to finally buy the rope.
Yeah.
But yeah, it'd be funny if someone said like, you helped me fight suicidal thoughts, and you're like, which September video?
Yeah, it's like the way you dance, man. It just made me go. There's so much to live for.
Yeah, they were gonna do it on that day. That should be the final video. Just a mass suicide.
I did. This is a joke I never did pull off, but it's like there's always so many fun surprise reveals. And one year I wanted it to be that the September video starts and then a squib goes off and it looks like I just got shot, and then I fall to the ground and it's like a minute of me just on the ground, fake bleeding out, and then for a year I don't post. I just go silent on the internet, and the next video is a funeral. Then I jump out of a casket and start dancing.
Can I tell you, you picked a really perfect time to do it. No, it's too... Wait, it's too late.
Yeah, it's too late now.
Oh, this would have been a perfect year.
Oh, yeah.
This would have been phenomenal.
2025, everyone would be like, that's the mood we need.
Yeah.
And then we could blame it on, crazy rightists and kind of get it even keeled.
Oh my God. Could you imagine if they're like, another podcaster got taken out and he was shooting a September video.
And we're Madison Square Garden with the fireworks, singing the song, doing like a choir.
Yeah.
Do you remember?
Yeah. All the while, I'm in LA just being like, I gotta pretend I'm dead, so I can't tweet, hey,
do
this
anything.
sucks.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be fun to fake your death for a bit.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think someone faked their death.
Really?
I feel like maybe I was doing. I think it was
Like a famous person? I feel like that. I think you could more easily fake it.
Back in the day.
Back in the
Yeah.
day.
Back in the day.
Back in the day, people probably were faking it all
Now
the time.
it'd be
to
a
get
lot.
away.
That's
Just
how the Paul
start a new
McCartney
life.
stuff started.
Just move one town over. You
Yeah.
know, like.
You don't even have to do that. People just be like, it's Paul McCartney. Like, I'd be like, no one's gonna believe you, and just walk
Yeah,
away. It's like,
yeah,
what am I
yeah.
gonna do?
Do you remember Balloon Boy?
I think about Balloon Boy
No.
every day of my life.
I was in college for musical theater. I wrote a play.
No.
I wrote a full play about
What was
Balloon
that?
Boy.
I've written multiple songs about Balloon Boy.
Oh my God, really?
Yes, I swear to. One of them is on my YouTube channel.
Usually
Yeah.
the book and music are made, in collaboration.
Sure.
Let's just combine these two.
I agree.
Completely.
The next Rogers
sight
and
unseen.
Hammerstein. Hammerstein.
What were so you don't remember Balloon Boy?
Well, just remind me.
Balloon Boy, you might know more, but it was a married couple, but a father, ambitious
the kid
father.
flew away.
Well, that's what we thought. And we followed the balloon, and he was hiding in the garage.
Obama called in the National Guard. He was hiding
man.
in a garage.
He was hiding in the garage.
Yeah.
But the suspicion was that his father told him to hide there.
Yeah, he went on Larry King and said something like, you told them we did this all for the show. And they were like, no, he's mistaken. And then later they, I think, got indicted and the father went to jail. But yeah.
Just for a fun little prank?
You can't do nothing no more.
Yeah, and this was during Twitter. I mean, it was thrilling.
Yeah.
Because we were following the balloon, and you thought he was in there.
Yeah.
I believe the anniversary is, as of this coming out, next week. Because it's, to my memory, October 15th, 2009.
It would have been funny if it was October 7th and the IDF shot it down.
We're 10 minutes in.
What were the songs called?
One was In the Mylar Balloon Over the Sea. Just in the... and I don't think...
Was it the boys' perspective?
So there was one that was just a retelling of the events that was just a parody of King of Carrot Flowers from Neutral Milk Cartel's In the Airplane Over the Sea. And then the other one was just... Oh, from the father's perspective. It's him singing to his son being like, hey... You were, God, I wish I could remember the lyrics now, but it's like him singing to his son, being like, "Here's what you're gonna do when you grow up." It's almost like a letter to your son, like Father and Son by Cat Stevens.
Yeah.
But the idea being like, when you grow up, you're gonna fake this prank, and then I'm gonna go to jail. We're all
love
gonna
that.
get exposed on Larry King.
What happened? Bring it. I think the story holds. I think
agree.
it could still be a thing.
I think about it every year. I put one up on YouTube, and the other one is just in my notes app.
Can I tell you what I would do I've been really thinking about it because we're releasing this soon enough. I thought it would be so funny if someone wrote a play of the, let's say a comedian at the Riyadh Comedy Festival does say something wild and they all get put in jail. The hostage negotiations for the Riyadh Comedy Festival
That's funny.
would be, and I don't know whether it's funniest to it could be an impressionist. Maybe we get our friend Chris Cafaro to play every comedian.
Yeah.
Getting on the phone,
Yeah.
just be like. But I just
You gotta let me out, man.
Yeah.
and then Trump deciding, obviously he's going to take the ones who had him on his podcast first,
Of course.
but then those debates, the debates of let's bring Fluffy back. I don't know. It's a little broad.
Oh, that's funny.
I would love that. That's what
It's very Iannucci, very Veep. The negotiations, but
Yeah.
the idea of
if the comedians be willing to play themselves and we just see them all just the mask totally drop.
Yeah.
Oh God. Well, it'll still be going on by the time this comes out.
How long-
I believe.
how long
I'm
does it
pretty
last?
sure Sam Morril's performing tonight, unless he drops out.
I doubt it. I feel like they're all there.
Someone dropped. Yeah. I mean,
Someone dropped out?
once you go,
Who dropped out?
If I got there, I'd be like,
Yeah.
Might as
I'm
well.
not canceling on the way there. There's these videos. I at least saw Chappelle and Kevin Hart did it. They put their
the
hands in
hands,
sand, and then they had to look at the camera like this, and it just reminded me that you can never escape the promo. You can never escape the promo.
They're paying you $2 to $3 million. You're gonna stick your hands in some sand.
Yeah,
and your heads.
You'd think you'd be like, "Hey, I'll do it." Oh, don't make me do that weird video
man,
with
they
the hands
signed
in the
up.
sand.
Yeah. I also don't. Is it like it's sand? It's not like plaster or cement. What's the idea?
I don't know. It doesn't look like they know either.
Sure.
Yeah.
it looks like I hope this isn't something bad.
It's like, I'll just say I didn't know.
And then imagine the comedians that go and they're like, oh, you ready to do the handstand video? And they're like, no, we don't need to do it for you.
Yeah, I hear you.
Oh, God, yeah.
That's okay.
Comedy. I was looking at, people were talking about Leonardo DiCaprio we're at the point where the movie stars are doing the podcast circuit now. Mm-hmm. And I remember Robert De Niro, back in my actor taste, was like, he didn't like to do late night because he was like, I want people to buy into me slipping into the character.
Yeah.
And now I got to watch Leonardo DiCaprio and know that he's building, a resort in Tel Aviv or whatever. And I have to be like, put that to the side. I have to go. What's this? Sean Penn is such a great actor, and people go, that wife beater shouldn't be allowed to be in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so good.
Every time I'm watching that movie and I'm just like, the score comes on, I'm like, oh, Johnny Greenwood. I'm going to close my ears.
What's his thing?
His wife is very, very much a Zionist. And,
sure.
Part of Radiohead didn't come out and sort of address any of that, and then Tommy York released that statement and felt like, if this is the only statement, one of the members of the band has been like posting for Palestine for ages and is like very supportive of that, but it is like, Johnny's right in the middle of like being married to a rabid Zionist and saying nothing in a way that's like, oh, that's not great.
I think as a band, can there be a rule if it's like 2/3 politically we agree with the band? If 2/3 of the band didn't assault anyone,
you two did separate statements. They
really?
did like Bono did a statement but they like kind of all put it out at the same time, and I didn't read them. But I remember thinking, oh, that's interesting for be like,
I think 50%.
We don't all feel on the same thing.
It's a two-statement solution.
So if there's a two-statement solution, I was going to say if there's 5 members of a band, you can call it a 3/5 rule.
Mm-hmm. Anyone you want to contribute? I use my Judaism.
I use my African Americanism.
Oh, I don't have anything. What happened to the Scots? Anything bad?
Did anything bad happen to the Scots?
I don't know.
You gotta learn your history.
I know. I gotta learn it.
So you can lean into your race a little.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to lean into my race more.
That's a good take, Gianmarco.
Thank you, Gianmarco.
If you did comedy, you'd have to like come up with the Scottish joke.
I think it would just be fat bastard, wouldn't it?
Okay. So keep it going. So
fat bastard.
So what would the fat bastard joke be? I don't even care about the conflict. Get in my belly. Demi, happy to have you.
Happy to be here.
People have been asking for a while.
They have? That's crazy.
Yeah, it's the Dropout. The Dropout poll.
Yeah.
It's the audience that I have coming out to shows.
Yeah.
I've heard comments. Someone said, I heard in the bathroom. Someone said it's just theater kids and Dropout kids, and that's already
that's a circle.
A circle.
Yeah. It's funny. I do feel like for as long as I've been doing stuff, I started doing Dropout, and now people on the street will just be like, I saw you on Dropout, no matter what state or city or place I'm in. And it is just like, it shows how big that platform has gotten, but it also is just the thing of like, you feel like you're doing pretty well, and then it's like you do one thing and everyone's like, I'm finally recognizing you. I'm like, damn, I really didn't realize how much bigger that is than everything else.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Yeah, it's great. None of my other work mattered.
Correct.
Until the one thing I did on Dropout.
And you better never leave.
Listen, I'm ready. I told him. I said, I'll fly. I'll work as a local. You live in LA.
I do.
What are you doing in New York?
I'm just on vacation, honestly.
Really?
Yeah. Someone had posted about their friend needing like a between 2 and 4 month home exchange thing, and I was just like, I love being in New York, I'll do it. I have nothing planned out there. And then they dropped out, but I was like, I've still mentally been thinking about being in New York, so I'm just gonna go anyway. And I'm not good at taking vacations, so I was just like, I'm gonna go. And then immediately was like, can I do a show while I'm there? Does anyone want to book me on a thing while I'm there?
How long are you here for?
I got about 3 weeks left.
Okay, so you're here for a while.
I'm here for a while.
Now, when you vacation, how much are you planning out ahead of time? In terms of seeing things, restaurants, etc.
It depends on where I am, but I feel like I'm bad at planning restaurants, but I feel like I should plan that more because that's always the thing I enjoy the most. Mm-hmm. I feel like I come to New York and I'm like, I gotta see shows, I gotta do shows, I gotta do like podcasts and see friends and walk around and take photos. And I feel like the thing I end up doing the most is taking photos, seeing friends. I'll go to like a bunch of movies, and then I'll go to 3 musicals, and every time just be like, do I like musicals?
Really?
But the thing is, I love more than anything in the world movie musicals. It's stage musicals, and I'm always just like,
That's a wild take.
I know. Which is why the take is I feel that way. It's not they're better. It's I love the cinematography. I love the dancing. I love the way it's shot. I love the colors. I feel like I'm there in person. I'm just sort of like, these jokes don't work for me. I'm mad that the guy who paid $500 with his child in the front row gets a better show than me. I think it's just a very like...
There's a lot of variables.
Yeah.
Yeah, theater, you do feel the economic.
Yeah.
I feel the guilt being close.
But I'm always shocked by what really works for me. Like I went to see Death Becomes Her the other day. Fantastic. I really love that it feels like there's so many different magic tricks in it, and the same that the movie has. But also like the songs in there are like patter songs that have games in them where it's like building on it. I'm like that I love. It's like I feel like I'm always shocked when I love stage musical songs, and that's why I'm like, okay.
What have you hated? What shows have you seen that you didn't like?
The thing is, I rarely hate anything. It's always just like, okay. Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything I like didn't love. Like you
can be honest. Something that closed.
I would love to be honest, but I'm like, what did I know?
Did you happen to see Gutenberg on October 7th?
No,
2 years ago.
I didn't. I really
because
wanted to.
You got to go to another one. You can't just base it off that one.
I know. I heard Gad was out, and everyone was like, it's a real low point in the run.
By the way, for those tuning in for the first time. Wow, hello, hi. This is The Downside. This is a place we complain, we get negative. We don't have to pretend like things are good. We don't have to pretend that just because a bad person's in a movie means that the movie can't be watched. But maybe if we choose our battles, it's one battle after another.
I didn't even see the Sean Penn stuff. Like, I've heard of it before, but I didn't.
Madonna.
No, I've heard the story. I didn't. When I go on Twitter, I wasn't seeing a lot of that on my.
Oh well, you didn't go out of your way as I did to say Sean Penn is a god.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah,
and like all gods, they have flaws.
Our God can be a cruel god.
Our God is a crazy god.
God.
Sean Penn is crazy.
Yeah.
But Mike, did you see it?
I did.
Oh my God!
Fantastic.
So good,
I'm
right?
working on.
Really
I'm working on seeing more movies, making that time in my life.
It's rare for me to go and be like, oh, I gotta go see this again. I was just like, I had so much fun. It was so good, so funny.
I have so many blessings, but with the blessing I was gonna say, I'll do the second one now, where I wrote Russell. Because we relate more on comedy stuff and we talk, but we don't talk movie.
Yeah.
And I like post how much I loved it, and you wrote me how much you saw twice.
Yeah.
It's just that nice feeling when a friend, you're like, good, we have these same
Absolutely,
tastes.
yeah.
But some
people.
Mike Racine, who I like, he did not like this movie.
I feel like it's been rare to see people not like this movie, and I'm like,
they're out there.
I love to talk to those people.
I feel like people are. Some people are saying that it's anti-revolutionary, and I actually don't know what the fuck that means. Like, in terms of like, I feel like you want to you just wanted to see the French 75 blow up things for 3 hours. Like, I don't know that. Like, I don't know what that means.
And just succeed and not have troubles.
There's no conflict. It's just them winning. So I was like, I thought it was interesting that clearly lost.
Yeah.
And then we get to see all these communities.
Spoiler alert or anything like that?
Spoiler alert. Sorry. Spoiler alert about one battle after another. Why haven't you seen it yet? But I thought what was interesting for me is like, okay, clearly this fascist movement has won. And then you see this community and all these different pockets of people who are like Benicio del Toro with like running that underground thing, and the nuns, and then the doctors.
I told Tovah the optimism is the idea that everywhere around you there are like
moments
good people ready to help you.
You can do something. It doesn't have to be blowing up a building.
Yeah.
And you're finding ways to like do something and contribute and help and also I was like, I don't even know if the point of the movie is that. It's just like that was happening. But I feel like the point of the movie is this relationship and this thing, and and I was like, and it's
Someone I saw earlier said something about how it's like people are looking for a statement in the movie when it's like so much of the movie is about this central relationship, and the backdrop is like political. So people are going like, well, what's it saying about revolutionaries?
Also,
and it's like, does it have to say anything?
Also putting a lot of pressure on because it's coming out right now.
Yeah.
But like they made it like, and I'm not saying like we've been in a thing for a while now.
Right.
But I'm saying like even when they made it like in January 2024 to now, it feels like a much different like world that we're in. So you're putting like this thing of being like fascism is rapidly rising right now.
Yeah.
And you're like expecting that movie to solve it. And also the movie pointed out a million times they used that whole thing, the revolutionary will not be televised.
Yeah.
They kept reiterating itself being like, this movie is not gonna fix this
Sure.
shit. You know what I mean? Like by
yeah.
putting it in that many times, I feel like it's very clear. Like, yeah, this isn't gonna solve it. Like, I don't know.
I think I have this thing about discourse where people try to get to like the objective point or like stance of a movie and ignore the fact that it's like all of this is opinion based. It's all how we see it, but it's also like to say movies like anti-revolutionary or pro this or whatnot. Like just sort of erases the idea that a movie is supposed to change the world. It's supposed to like this. We're fighting it. And it's like all of it is art. It is commerce. It could be making a statement, but at the end of the day, it's just you've decided that's what it's saying to you. It's not objectively what it is saying.
People seem to be mad at James Gunn right now because the Superman movie, which was fine.
Yeah.
People were like, "Oh, this is a clear metaphor for Israel-Palestine," and he's like gone out of his way recently to be like, "It is not."
Yeah.
And I think there's a degree where I understand wanting like someone in a big position of power to say this is what it is, this is how I feel, this is what I think. And then there's another part of me that's like, isn't it better for a Zionist to go into the movie and with an open mind and like be taken in by the story, and maybe their view of the world is slightly shifted because they didn't right out the gate were told this is what we're saying.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And James Gunn probably, he's trying to make sure the movie makes money, and that's he has multiple motivations.
I don't know, but I understand what you're saying, but I also think Americans, we've been seeing movies for decades and decades where we're not learning the lessons. Like,
but movies aren't there to help with lessons. You need a morality play.
No, I'm agreeing with you, but I'm also saying like, so I don't know if that would have mattered. Of like I think that many a time like we see things and we're like, they put this movie out and then clearly we
look at Wicked. Wicked is the whole thing. Look at Star Wars. Look at it's America's the Death Star. I mean Jeff Goldblum, head of Oz. Elphaba is on the makeshift flying machine. I mean, It's you're going to be disappointed if you're looking for art to enact change.
Right. I will say though, there's a thing that was happening with the latest season of Andor where people were watching it and people were tweeting things just like, this is actually radicalizing me. This is making me think a lot about like this kind of stuff and how we should be doing this stuff. And then people were like, Star Wars, really? That's what did it for you? And I'm like, I don't fucking care.
Who cares?
I don't pick up a fucking brick. Force grab a brick. Like whatever. Just people are like, oh no, you should have learned that lesson before. Or like, no, you shouldn't look to politics to tell you these messages. I'm like, you shouldn't. But if that's what does it, great.
Or when someone like finally says something and people are like, oh, now you're gonna, and like,
we said if Jimmy Kimmel radicalized you, God bless. I mean,
who
listen,
cares what did it?
Do I think we're gonna hang? No, that's crazy.
Yeah,
but great.
Yeah,
good for you.
I mean, the thing about community is like you don't have to. Every single person doesn't have to have gotten to where you are at the same point, and you don't have to like every single person. But it's like, I'm glad we're on the same side. I will tolerate you. We don't have to be friends.
Mm-hmm. Did you? Okay, I'll start with mine. I feel like for me, the radicalized feels extreme to say, but I guess where I became like a fuck the system, this is insane. Was I got in trouble in high school. There was after the shows, the last night you'd stay in the school, you'd take down the set. There was always drinking, there was always smoking. And ultimately, everyone got busted in 1 year. And certain kids got in trouble, and others didn't. And I got in trouble, and it felt like the dealers at school didn't get in trouble, and the teachers who condoned it get in trouble, and I got in trouble. And I think that small thing, and just like being caught in the crosshairs of just an unfair, bureaucratic bullshit system that ultimately affected. I had to write every college I went to saying I drank on campus, and I was like, and I was also like a very straight edge kid except for this one time. And I think like I look back and I go, that I think is where I said, this is bullshit. And I start questioning, did you have a moment where you raised with dare I say leftist mindset?
I definitely wasn't. I feel like I was largely apolitical to just sort of being like a sponge for everything around me when I was a kid. I do feel like I had a strong sense of like, to this day, injustice is the one thing that will like make me like furiously angry. There are times where I see a movie and like I think about, this is not in the moment, but I remember watching the movie Our Idiot Brother with Paul Rudd, and he's being so nice to his sisters and they're being so mean to him. And I remember crying so hard and being so fucking mad. Even right now, I'm just like, just being like, he didn't fucking deserve that. He's being nice, and you guys are mean because he's an idiot. I was just like, it's not fucking right. It's not. And I feel that so many times when I watch a movie, and it's so dumb.
What's that movie?
No, Our Idiot Brothers.
Our Idiot Brothers.
Yeah.
I don't remember ever seeing it, but
I just imagine bullet shell casings that say "Our Idiot Brother." And they go, what?
There are so many things like that though when you watch back and you're like, why are they being so mean to Kimmy Gibbler? Like, calm down. That is a child, you know. Like. But yes, things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think there are just like little things over time like that. And then I remember one thing that really was a big thing for me was, I think this was 2016, the death of Philando Castile, who was a black man who was shot by police in a just being pulled over, and he had his son in the car with him. And I wrote a thing on Medium about it, about how it's just like, I think black kids, or especially black men, are taught a lot to like dress a certain way, to be a certain way. Like if you're playing music too loud, it's like all these things that we're taught to be like, hey, do this so that people don't see you a certain way. And I felt like all the photos of me, like, he's dressed nice, his son is in the car, and like he did everything correct, and he still got shot. And that just made me feel this thing of like, then there's nothing you can fucking do. And like the cops are not gonna there's so many stories of like, oh, these people were playing loud music at a gas station and they got shot. And I think about that every time I pull over at a gas station. I'm like, what are they gonna say? It's like, he was listening to Mitski really loud. And I'm like, well, no, that's not gonna And I think things like that just made me just sort of go like, then there's nothing, then the system is broken, then anything that you're gonna tell to children, to people, to be like, hey, this is how you prevent it. Like, you can do the right thing and just not get in trouble. It's like, no, that's never been the case, and you just have to we gotta do something. Like, I think that was the big thing for me.
Did your parents have a version of that conversation with you?
Oh yeah.
What was it? Was it like a sit down, or was it just like a general talking about whenever you like, hey, listen, we gotta be careful?
It was a sit down at first, and then it was a lot of slow, like, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do this. Like, I think my parents are big on me wearing suits. My dad still to this day will like be like, hey, I'm getting new like nice shoes, I'm gonna get you a pair, and I'll be like, I'm okay, and he's like, I'm gonna get you a pair. Just the sort of being like, you gotta dress this way, you gotta act this way. Like, when you go to an interview, your hair needs to be this way. They're upset that I have tattoos because they're just very like, well, no, that's gonna look bad on you, and people are gonna treat you this way. And it's always been a thing with them, and I feel very lucky that my career has proven otherwise, and I have the freedom to do these things. But I also understood, as a kid, I was like, they're being so annoying, like, this sucks. And like, as an adult, I'm just like, I fully understand the fear and the feeling that goes into them being like, we need to teach you this as a way to protect you. And then slowly over time, I was like, nothing will protect me, and it doesn't matter, and people will see you for however you are.
Will you ever fight with them about it? Did they ever say you could not leave the house like this?
As a kid, I want to say not really. I feel like I was just sort of like, I was the kind of kid who was just like, I don't want to cause a scene, I don't want to do anything that's like, we'll delay this if I fight, I'll do the thing and we'll go whatever.
So I know you were born in London?
Yes.
Where were they from? Were they born in London originally?
I want to say my dad was born in London. My mom, they met in Nigeria and then moved to London. So they both are from Nigeria and then moved to London, and that's where I was born.
Okay, cool. Yeah. But like, you have British citizenship. I remember when I went to London, you had a lot of suggestions.
I did, yeah.
You did.
I'm there, I feel like, more frequently than I think I'm supposed to be. But do
you feel a connection to the city?
No. I there was a time where I would go back with my family every summer until I was like 16, I want to say.
That's a lot.
It was, yeah. But I feel like from there it was like a whole decade and some change of not going back. And now I'm just like, I don't know what this place is.
Yeah.
And you did you ever have a British accent?
I did, until I was 6. And I regret every day that it's gone.
Do you think you can find it again? It's not in your brain somewhere deep?
I mean,
that's like when you get a concussion and you wake up and you're like, hello,
mommy.
Do your parents? No.
Yes, yeah. No, my dad has like a British Nigerian accent. It's very close to my mom's just Nigerian accent. Yeah.
Because my friend Kevin, we grew up in Maryland, but he moved to London. He had a son in London, and this little boy, he goes, water, Dad? And he talks in a British accent. It's surreal. Yeah. Because they have none of it. Yeah. I would like that.
That's why I want a kid to grow up in New York.
You want a real...
Yeah. I want a kid who's just got a New York accent, and everyone's like, that's not your... Yeah. Exactly.
Forget about it. I'm trying to think of which suggestions. You gave me restaurants. Did you tell me to go to that museum with all the...
Yeah.
Oh, I talk about it all the time.
Novelty Automation.
The Novelty Automation. That's the one with all the... There was one where it was like a surprise you got punched in the stomach or something.
Yeah.
I'm too tall. I got punched so square in the dick.
nuts.
and it was like, it was just this far enough away for me to like be like, you should put a sign up that it really hurt.
Yeah.
It really felt like I had been punched. But that was one of the coolest. That's the kind of, when I say I want to go to museums, it's some weird interactive thing.
I agree.
I'm done with art museums. Unless it's super weird.
I feel like art museums is just, it's a lot of me standing around and being like, how long do I have to stand here before I move on to the next one?
Yeah.
But with that one, it's fun. Like the fact that you play with everything, the fact that there are a lot of machines where if you go with someone, you'll just be standing around and then it's like everyone just starts bringing out their phone and we're like, well, I wonder why is everyone filming me? And then it's like the probe one that just sticks a thing like up into your butt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my favorite one.
It's great.
Kept doing it.
I have so many videos of just me around it, just waiting for like a friend or a partner to be like, what's this about? I don't understand.
That's fun. That's fun.
It's great.
I did a little bit too much. Like I got like obsessed where I'm like, I'm going to film my experience with each one and then I'm directing my life. And then And then I'm doing reality TV myself.
By yourself,
Do you feel a lot of that with like the TikTokification of stuff where like you want an experience but you're like, how do I make this into content?
Yeah. I do, but I feel like I've shared it before, but when I was a little kid, my parents would put on like disco, and I would dance in the living room. And I told them, and this is at 4, I said, "Is there a way that we can get the furniture in this arrangement on a stage so people can watch?"
You're a born performer.
There was something in me that like the happiness could not simply be achieved by doing a thing; it also had to be witnessed.
Yeah.
And I wonder if I had instilled in me like a deep belief in God, if I could have like, I mean, if I could feel like that.
Yeah.
If I could really be like, well, it is being watched.
Yeah, I feel like as a child, God was an audience. God is the idea of like being perceived in some way. It's like you're saying.
Well, if he was more of a laugher, maybe I'd be fine with it.
Right? Yeah. He's one of those. Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah. So, but I do have that. So yeah, it does fuck up like moments, and sometimes I'm able to detach.
What I struggle with, and we talked about this, is that it's impossible for me to watch something and not think about the work that went into making it. So when I'm seeing someone be like, check out my day doing blah, 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 all I'm watching is being like, oh, you did, oh, those people must have seen you setting up that shot. Oh, like, and it takes me out of it. So I'm like, that's why I've struggled with even watching that kind of content, because I'm like, or when people have a busy day, like a Broadway person being like, watch me warm up, or like, I just found out I'm going in for this role. I'm like, why are you making content?
Yes.
Like, aren't you worried about the lines? And like, it's hard for me to imagine like going into that mindset rather than, oh, we're going to do a show. And I don't know.
When someone is filming, like just doing an emotional like vlog or something, I think the same thing of like, your emotions are real, but there's also a level of you that is performing, and therefore it feels a little less real than if you were just to have an honest to God breakdown.
Yeah, I did a comedy festival.
Riyadh.
Yes, the Riyadh Comedy Festival, and a former SNL cast member was filming B-roll, like for a special that was going to come out. So they had an assistant or a friend who the whole festival was following them with a camera. And we're all hanging by the pool, and it's like, it's such a great hang. I love comedy festivals. I so rarely. I mean, now I feel like I've made too many enemies. Every festival is going to be a fucking nightmare, but it's such a fun hang. And then he or she would walk in and be like, with the camera, and be like, "Hey everybody, who's ready to party?" And I was like, "Shut the fuck up! You are not like this." All of a sudden, we were having fun, like comedy conversations, and part of it was like, none of us consented to be in this. And then one time they walked in the green room. This was a long time ago, because Matt Rife and I were in the same green room, and like went up to Matt. I was like, "Hey, is it cool that we film?" And he was like, "Yeah, no doubt." And then I was sitting there, and nobody asked me, and it was that moment where you go like, "Oh, these cameras, it kills something." But I do it too. When we go on tour, I'm always like, "Well, we should get some behind the scenes footage." It's a curse.
Yeah. I think that's one of the big reasons that I'm just not on TikTok. I think that I know it would it would change I feel like I was on Vine for so long, I've been on Twitter for ages, and there's a thing to that has always been like, it's fun to make videos with friends, it's fun to do things where it's like you are doing a very short contained thing that is like a sketch or whatnot, and I think that TikTok has made it more where it's not just about a thing that you make with friends, but it's like it's got to be reactive, it's got to be on trend, it's got to be all these things, and I'm just like, I think I'm burnt out on thinking of things that I put out on the internet in that way, and not just being like spur of the moment, I had a thought, or like I'm doing a thing because it's for me or for a friend and it's to make them laugh. And I know that like with the algorithm being adjusted to me and it being like, we know you're gonna love this shit, you little piggy, like I'm just like it would always just be something that it would shape my brain in a way that I know I could not fight off.
Look at Twitch. I mean, I see. I don't know why it's on my Twitter all of a sudden now, but I show speed.
Oh yeah.
And I swear to, I'm like, when do you shit? I've seen
he's Truman Show.
He's Truman Show, and everywhere he walks, there's something, and he's got every moment he's like, what? Oh my god! Yeah. And I'm like, when are you sad? Are you gonna take your own life on this thing? Like when are your moments? I know I'm like, I put myself out a lot. I'm older. I don't want to look at like younger things and be like, what the fuck is this shit? But I just go, does it ever go back? Does it ever go back? Do people start going crazy?
That you're like, oh, we've all seen too much.
Speaking of, so I'm doing a gig in I'm going to Asia for the first time to do shows next year. So I'll be in like Hong Kong, Tokyo, and then I'll go to India. And I'm trying to make like a poster that's like, I like my posters to be like a little like subversive. And I don't know what's offensive.
Right.
In a different way. Like I want to have like the one, my Australia poster. Mm-hmm. It's me naked as a kangaroo, and because I don't have a pouch, there's a baby kangaroo coming out of my ass. Mm-hmm. That's my pouch. Mm-hmm. But for like Japan, like for example, I thought, and this was my opener's idea to a degree, it was me committing seppuku. But there's laughs coming out of my guts. I'm disemboweling myself for your entertainment.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's like, ooh, or if it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I don't know. In India, when it comes to like, Hinduism is its own, like I've seen, people talk about my elbows, I'm like, can I have the 8-arm thing, or is that offensive? I don't know.
Right.
But it's just like, I certainly know how to not be offensive, but I'm trying to like do what I would do in an American poster where it's just something that has some kind of teeth.
Yeah.
And I just don't even know.
I think it's also like you have no control over the markets or places in which that poster will be. Because it's like,
exactly. And there also is the thing where I'm like, this might not be offensive there, but American audiences will go, oh, this is like, you can't.
That's what he thinks of them.
Yeah. Or it's like it's offensive here, but it's not Latin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I heard from a comedian we had on. Where was he from? Oh, fuck, I forget where he was from in Asia, but he was like, no, if you do like specific accents, they love it over there.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, maybe there,
maybe there, but if that clips get over here. Yeah.
And I did a show in Istanbul, and there was a Muslim call to prayer during the show, and he said like, you can tell whatever jokes you want. It was like a 10-minute prayer in the middle of the headlining set, and we went to town. It was fun. It was a blast. And then I said, I'm going to post this, and he was like, do not post this. If it goes any other place here in Turkey, you can't come back to Turkey.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And it really is navigating. And that's ultimately why I didn't do the Riyadh Comedy Festivals. I couldn't think of a poster.
No, of course.
Yeah.
And you got to be Kevin Hart's poster.
Yeah.
Where he gets beheaded.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Is that really his poster?
No.
Oh my god.
Could you imagine?
I was like, wow.
If one of them had any balls.
Yeah.
Then the other one I thought of, that this one's definitely, like, for example, the Suicide Forest.
Yeah.
I don't even know. Well, it made me think, because we were talking about streamers, I was thinking about Logan Paul. He got in big. That was his like first.
Oh yeah, what did he do?
Oh,
He like found a dead
his career.
body and like made a video of him discovering it, being like, whoa.
So yeah, the Suicide Forest is in Japan. I believe.
So.
And it's just a place people go to kill themselves.
Yeah, people go to kill themselves, and he was like there, he happened like in a video to see it, and he reacted like appropriately, but then he uploaded it.
Yeah.
And then showed it blurred, and it was it's just one of those moments where, not to defend him, but one of those moments where it was someone streaming everything all the time, realized people don't want you to put this thing up.
Wait, how many people are doing this? Also, did the name come first or the after? Because otherwise,
you're asking for it.
At the same time, I don't want to misspeak and be wrong here, so there's a chance I'm wrong, but I believe it was a place where so many people had committed suicide that it became known as a suicide forest.
Yeah.
And then I think at that point it was like self-deterministic, where it's like this is where people go to kill themselves.
I wonder.
I'm so curious, if
it was
numbers.
a matter of a good view or a bad view.
Yeah.
You thought it was going to be a better view.
But people are still allowed to go there.
Yeah.
I don't think it's I think it's a big. Are we allowed to ask you to look something up?
Sure.
Do you mind looking up why the origins of the suicide forest?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Thank you so much. So yeah, that was the other poster idea that I would never do, but it was in my head.
There's also a thing like you said about the show you did with the Muslim Call to Prayer. It's it's that thing of how you can joke in a group with people that you know who have all essentially passively. It's by knowing each other, there's a sense of community and an understanding that the jokes you were telling are not reflective of your beliefs or whatever, versus the way that you perform very publicly. It's
back to the idea of recording things in general being the enemy of live comedy. I did a show where I was at a college where the audience was, more than majority Indian. And then I did a Q&A at the end. And one of the students made a joke. He said, "How did you get here by tunnel?" Which this was during the Jewish Chabad underground tunnel. Yeah. And I in just this space, I was like, "What the fuck? Fuck you! How'd you get here by elephant?" And it was a moment of we were both safely being racist with each other.
Yeah.
And
the Jackie Chan, Chris Tucker.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Jewish and Indian rush hour.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I'll put in $100K on that right now. Start the Kickstarter. I'm in. And you know what? Brett Ratner's back.
Is he back?
No, I meant to direct this, but no. I think he's
gone.
I think he actually might be coming back.
I'll do it for a lower rate.
Yeah.
Speaking of Chris Tucker's at the Riyadh Comedy Festival.
Sure
I think he's the only one that I'm
I saw you tweet that, and every response was why? What do you mean? And I was I think he's half joking, but I also am
no, I just I think every person has to be judged. We have to at least take money into account.
Yes.
Some people have a lot of money that it's not like they're getting more than they would,
People, but see, I think the problem with internet thinking is everything's just one level. If you have no kids and no wife and or husband, no family at all, and you're going to Riyadh for the money, that's bad. It's a little less bad if you got a wife who wants the kitchen upgrade.
Yeah.
It's a little less bad if you have a kid. You want to say it's all bad, but there's slight degrees. Right. There's murder in the first and second and third.
Recent work. Recent TV gigs.
Yeah.
You're factoring in a lot of things.
Yeah. How much is your monthly Patreon?
If Nick Cannon wants to go to Riyadh, let him go.
Oh my God.
Nick Cannon followed me 2 days ago, and it was from a clip about divorce and custody, and it felt just beautiful.
He's like, I want to see more of this. Give me some instructions.
Give me a preview of what my kids are going to be saying about me in 20 years. Did you learn anything?
Yeah. So there's some folklore and legend.
Folklore and legend.
There is a love story novel where the two people, I guess, they committed suicide there.
There's a love story where two people.
There's a book called The Complete Manual of Suicide.
There's a book called The Complete Manual of Suicide.
Bestseller, and it said that the forest
How many people?
The perfect place to die.
How many people on average are dying there a year?
We should keep talking.
That's what I want to know.
Yeah, that's what you want to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure. Every forest is a suicide forest if you put your mind to it.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
There's bridges that are famous for it too.
The Golden Gate Bridge.
Golden Gate,
yeah.
Around 30.
Around 30
Not
per
that
year.
bad.
I think my question now is, how is someone not stopping them?
Well, it's a big.
30 years. I think it's a low enough number. It's what?
How many acres is the suicide forest?
If a place is known as suicide forest, I'm put a couple guards there. Stop them.
Yeah.
Because it's like people hanging from trees.
Sure. That's a...
But it's got to be a big forest. You've got to be able to get away from...
8,600?
Okay. All right, yeah.
That's a lot of people.
All right. Hey, I'm putting up solutions.
8,600 total forever?
Acres.
Oh. Sorry. Yeah. Okay.
8,600 acres. That's a lot of ground to cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
30, that's not that much, I don't think.
I feel like for every 8,600 acres of forest, period, there's going to be a couple suicides.
Yeah.
What's that? Every like 3 days, something like that.
30 over the course of a year.
Yeah,
is one every 3 days.
I don't know. No, I'm not good at math.
I would say it's one every 30 days.
No. He's right.
No, stop.
Wait, no. Okay, you're both wrong. You're both wrong.
One every 10 days.
Yes.
365. That's where I'm going.
Yeah.
I'm doing the exact same things I do to tip a waiter to calculate how many suicides.
Right.
Would be 30 a year.
How many suicides you should give them?
Yeah.
Great. We're gonna have every single episode of The Downside should have the hotline underneath it. That's just what.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry.
No. I don't think it's your fault.
Yeah.
I think it's the energy I'm bringing. So you moved to a place that I've been to several times. You moved to Plano, Texas.
Have you been to Plano, Texas?
It used to be a house of comedy. Now it is a mic drop comedy club in Plano, Texas.
What's Plano near?
Dallas. Like 20 minutes outside of Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm even trying to think of what the comedy scene is like there. I moved away from Plano the second I could.
Yeah.
How long were you in Texas for?
14. Well, no, I guess about 13 years.
Yeah.
Until like maybe this year or I guess next year, it's probably the place I've lived the longest, just because I was there from being a child.
So did Plano have any like Southern or Texan culture to it?
It was so adjacent. Like it felt like we had gentrified the Texas out of it. Not we, but like people. It's like I go back now and the big news is like there's a new food court or a new food mall. And it's like there's barbecue and whatnot, but there's also Sparrows and Auntie Anne's and all these, or like even just a place where it's like there are 3 levels and there are all sorts of different cuisine, and it's like the Texan nature of it has been sort of snuffed out.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of things I do now that are very like country oriented, and people are just like, oh, it's because you're from Texas. I'm like, I never did this while I was in Texas. It's foreign to me that this would be related to the place I grew up in Texas.
Mm-hmm. And why did your parents move there from London?
I believe it was, I think it was, we went to Irving, Texas first and then moved to Plano, and it was just like jobs that my parents had gotten. And at some point, Plano was ranked as the safest city in America, so it was just also a good place to raise kids. Yeah. I think what it was, we had a really big heroin problem in the 2000s, and then we recovered from that in a way that made it like, they upped the police presence. There's no way that any other rich white kids are going to overdose. And then it's like everything's beautiful and nice and suburban.
So it was a rich white kid issue?
Yeah, I think it was like there were 8 in a year, and they were like, there's an epidemic. There's a problem happening.
My God, that's like one every 50 days.
Yeah. Yeah, about.
That's going faster. 8 does not seem like that many.
It doesn't, but when...
But it's smallish, or I don't know how big it is.
Or is it more just who's doing it?
It's absolutely who's doing it.
It's like someone's, like
someone in my high school died from a heroin overdose. That would have been wild.
Yeah. Where'd you go to Maryland?
DC, George Hyundai School. So a lot of pot. It was known as the drug school. All the teachers who were higher up faculty when they were teachers in the 80s were smoking pot with their students, which is why I was so radicalized.
Yeah.
When they were the ones sentencing me to my probation.
Sentencing.
Yeah.
Insane. Yeah. You hate to see the hippies become the narcs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I'd done more drugs in high school.
I do too, but mostly because I had one drug experience in high school, and it was my friends trying to trick me into smoking fake pot, and I did nothing on it. And so it was like I was working on a project with 2 friends, and they were like, "Hey, we invite some friends over," and they came over, and I was like, "We're supposed to do this project. Let's finish this project." And they were like, "No, it's cool. Let's go hang out." They took me to a local school, and they're like, "We're gonna smoke pot," and I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah." And they like rolled up a joint and then passed it around and smoked it, and they just kept looking at me and like giggling, and I was like, must be the weed. And I was just like, I really don't feel anything, guys. And then like we went back to my place, and they're like, "Hey, do you know why you don't feel anything, man? It's because we tricked you into smoking oregano." And I'm like, you all smoked it too.
Yeah.
You were trying to like catch me in like being fake high, and I'm like, you all smoked herbs.
Yeah.
We all look stupid. Like,
and you didn't the whole time. You're just like, I'm not feeling anything.
Yeah, I was just like, I don't get it.
That's not good to do for someone's first pot experience. Yeah, you got to do that like when they know what they would feel for the effect to take place.
Yeah.
Because I remember when I took psychology class and there was like some famous study with a college professor, back when college professors could be fun.
Sure.
Like made all the students, like gave them stuff they thought was alcohol and filmed them. And like by the end they were like on each other's laps and blah, 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 and then was like there was no alcohol. That's fun.
Yeah.
First time though. First time it's normally the time people go, I don't really feel anything.
Right.
Yeah.
That's lame. And you think that deterred you from drugs because you were always like, let me taste it first?
No, let me put this in a chicken real quick. No, I feel like I just didn't. It wasn't offered to me, so I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I went to college, and like I think the first time I smoked weed was when some like cool but like nice cool friends were just like, we're gonna smoke weed and ride bikes. You want to join us? And I was like, okay, but I don't know what it's like. And it was truly just we rode bikes down the river and like looked over at like the sunset, and then stumbled upon a Blues Traveler concert in the woods. And I was like, this is not how it's supposed to be all the time, right?
Yeah.
And it was a perfectly nice time. I'm like, I'm thankful that was my first time.
Sure.
But then I think my second time I smoked too much and went crazy and was like, all right, well, I don't do this that much anymore.
Yeah. I feel like I didn't have access to it. Like I didn't have.
That's the thing.
Like a connect. Like I remember I drank a little in high school, and I remember it was so much work to get it. Like it was like a CIA operation to like meeting people on a back roads, and I remember paying so much money for a 6-pack that I shared with 2 other people. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it was like. And it was so hard to get a hold of. Upstate New York.
Okay.
But
I remember with alcohol, at least at the theater thing, it was like, hey, Kevin brought a water bottle and it's filled with vodka.
Oh yeah, the water
and it was
bottles.
harsh. Yeah, always the water bottles.
Hot vodka. Hot vodka.
But I remember that it was the first thing I had was like a weed brownie. And I just remember, I mean, anti-drug messaging worked on a neurotic kid like me. I saw it as really like, your life is out of control if you're going to eat this dirty brownie.
Yeah.
But then I did.
And you're like, my life's out of control, brother.
Out of control.
Yeah. I'm in space right now.
If I could go back, I think I'd be more socially fun if I had pot. I think I'm better at parties when I'm on pot. I'm more talkative. I'm more curious.
Interesting.
So you were kind of like on the internet in a way that feels early. How old are you?
I'm 33.
I'm 30. Okay, I'm 37, 48. And you
Cut that out.
I'm not 48.
Oh.
when this comes out, 49. Were you making content like young?
Yeah, relatively young. I feel like I was doing it in high school and then leading into college, and like, yeah, I feel like I would make like YouTube videos and stuff. I was part of a forum, like a group of people who were just really into video games when I was like 14, and it was like making stuff to make them laugh. And I feel like I got into the internet very young and became friends with like older people through the internet. And it was never like weird, but it was just like, because I'm in the internet and like around people who it's like I'm trying to entertain them, I'm very young and just in my room, it felt like I got very used to doing that.
Yeah. We're hearing babies in the hallway. Oh, good. Did anything go like was there anything that you went viral or like?
Yeah. Oh my God. There are multiple like memes of photos that I took as jokes for those friends from when I was young that now I'm just like, oh, people were really racist about that, like very quick. And now I'm like
what?
So there was a photo that I took. I had found like a bunch of like things from when I was a very young child in my house and like taken photos of them, just post online with like a fucking like Toshiba like grainy webcam. And one of them, it was like I found Zoom beanies and I was like smiling with it. And then another one was I found a VHS of Space Jam and made a photo where the joke was like I'm blinking as I took the photo, but it looked like I was just like essentially like coming because I love Space Jam so much. And then people it was like, oh, it's Space Jam Kid. And eventually it got into 4chan, where it was no longer kid, but instead the N-word. and it was like, okay, I think at the time I was just like, weird that they would do, like, that's not the thing. And over time I was just like, it wasn't like upset as more, it was just like annoyed that it's like, this was fun and now it's no longer fun, or like they made it that it's like he wasn't in on the joke, he looks so stupid, and I'm like, no, I think like losing the control, or like the idea like that I did this of my own intention and like that I was making a joke is something that made me really angry. But yeah.
When you posted it, did you go, oh, it looks like I'm coming in this?
No, I mean, I was just like, I'm making a goofy face, but the intention was I blinked at the wrong time.
Yeah, and you just like Space. I mean, I love Space Jam.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie.
To this day, I'm like, great time.
I did even watch the sequel, and that was rough.
Yeah.
That was a rough ride.
That was recent, right?
That was LeBron.
And Don Cheadle.
And then Michael B. Jordan. And there was a scene that he has with Michael B. Jordan where it's clear they're not in the same room for the filming.
Yeah.
And it's just like you can feel it.
Oh, yeah.
You can feel the lack
it's
of chemistry.
so funny when that happens.
That's an intense. How so? Were you 14 or?
I must have been 14 or 15 at that time. Yeah.
And like, did it? Because I don't like. I've never even been on 4chan. I swear to God.
Okay.
But like,
suspicious.
It's just like,
wait, does it still exist?
This is.
I thought
something happened. Something happened.
I mean,
frankly,
right?
now it's Twitter. The things on Twitter are out of this world, and the media system's so broken. Because I remember the times where it's like something crazy would be on Twitter. The news would be like, "This is insane. This is inappropriate." The race stuff I see on Twitter.
Oh, it's crazy.
Is and also like. I'm following every leftist account, and the things that still get shoved into my feed of Charlie Kirk videos.
Yeah.
Still, I'm like, this is wild.
Yeah.
This is crazy. And now TikTok is owned by, what is it? What's his name?
ByteDance, or is that?
No. They made the sale to the American company.
Oh, they did?
So it's one of Trump's buddies now owns TikTok.
Cool.
And it's like, it's would you mind looking up who bought TikTok in America? The purchase was completed.
Damn.
And just this thing where, and Democrats, God bless them if they can make the narrative correctly, but the idea that like there is a liberal bias is done. Mm-hmm. It is not true. Go on Twitter.
Right.
Go on Twitter.
It's never been true. It's just that people.
There's always been a centrist bias that's been viewed as a liberal bias, but now it is a right-wing bias. It is out of this world. But yeah, I'm trying to think of like those moments on the internet where you saw something fucked up at a young age.
Yeah.
Where like, oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, God.
I mean, there was an entire culture of like 2 girls, 1 cup, and fucking I don't know if that kind of shock stuff happens for kids anymore. It might just be like backgrounded, or it's just sort of like everything's a little bit
I'm sure
shocking.
every teenager saw Charlie Kirk getting shot.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it. I mean, I sometimes you'll see memes where there's part of me that goes like, I'm always like a comedian, but you'll see memes where I'm like, it's so dark, it's so fucked up. I don't know how this couldn't like eventually just make you numb to feeling anything, or the need for shock to be. And I'm hardly one to speak. I mean, I'm a South Park fan, and people would have said the same thing about kind of the nihilism of South Park. But I see some of these memes, and you're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like the joke is first. It feels like the shock of it is first and primary. And I can appreciate that sometimes. But if you're constantly getting shocked, you're going to eventually
get numb to it.
The effects, So yeah, you were on 4chan though.
No, I was on like video game forums that were dedicated to that, and like I posted those photos for my friends, and they made it to 4chan without my. It was like someone put them on 4chan. And
Did you tell your parents? You're like, this is fucked up. It's just, and that's the other thing about the internet. It's just such this like private little world that as a teenager, you're just alone with it.
Yeah.
You couldn't even explain it to your parents if you tried.
No,
You
absolutely.
couldn't explain 4chan to me right now. Like, I'm like, it's so foreign and so sounds so scary.
Yeah.
And so dark.
It's a terrifying world.
Yeah, I hear about that
so
one.
dark and dirty.
Then there's something called 8chan as well, I believe.
I don't know the difference.
There's
I only
Silk
know
Road
through watching that documentary on Q. They talked about 8chan a little bit in that. Yeah.
And then I remember there's like one site, Kiwi, there was some site that like specifically like went after trans people, and it was like you read about it and you're like, or like another we're fucked, man. I don't know what to say. ChatGPT helped that one kid kill himself.
Yeah.
You read about that?
No.
It was like a mix of allegedly. Let me just loosely throw that out there so I don't get sued. Where it was like the kid, like at some points it tried to counsel the kid, but then there was one point where it was like, make sure you put your noose under the covers so no one sees or they're gonna catch on. And you're like, and then there's no one to sue because it's the general AI system.
Yeah.
We need a revolution.
I saw an advertisement for a book on the subway. That book was like an anti-AI thing, like it's already happening, it's here, we need to take action now kind of thing. I was like, this is so like science fiction. Like if you were watching this movie in the 80s and you saw like a scene in the subway and they were like saying that the robots are here and they're taking over and you're like, oh, and everyone's just going about their business and they're not doing anything.
Someone's getting the flyer, throws
like,
it in the trash.
And everyone's like, okay, blah, blah, blah. And you're like, why are they paying attention? And you're like, but I was like, this is so weird. Like, this is so weird.
And every other poster on the subway is for that friend
is for
thing.
the AI thing. Yeah.
What is that thing? I keep seeing it.
Oh, yeah.
I have not fully looked into it, but from what I understand, it's like a necklace that is always around. It's like always listening and therefore creating like AI based off of your interactions and whatnot, and just texts you as if it's a friend. And it's just like, hey, you haven't been doing this lately. Why? And it's so.
It's like it shames you? Fries again.
I think shames you, but
sure
also
it tries to get you to buy things.
Yeah,
sure.
You know what I mean?
But also just like tries to talk to you, just like
blah, 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 blah. You need to go to blah blah blah.
Peloton
and
makes
advertisers
it
can pay money to get it to probably trick you on over time. And
it's not gonna work though. All that kind of shit. I go like
it's gonna hurt people.
It's gonna hurt people. Yeah,
but that
I'm lonely on the road sometimes.
Yeah, it's gonna be like, well, wouldn't you like a friend and buy the thing?
You buy a friend.
Wait, who was the? Did we figure out who bought?
Oracle.
Oh, David Ellison.
David Ellison, that's who it is.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, his kids are doing fine with his money. One is doing Skydance. One is doing Annapurna. They're making movies. This is different.
Tovah sent me. It was someone's Instagram story, and it said one of those sensitive information. Do you want to see? And when you click the eye, it was just a number to report if you like saw an ICE sighting, like to warn people that ICE is staking out an area. But Instagram had made it a like sensitive information. Bad.
Yeah.
Your show, where you do one backflip. You promised to do one backflip.
That's right. Demi Adejuyigbe is going to do one backflip.
I almost feel like I should have asked this before we started. Can you do a backflip?
I can. Asterisk. Here's the I mean this is part of the special, and like spoilers, whatever. I think it comes out a month from now. I actually don't know the date. It comes out in November at some point, I believe. But
spoilers for one battle after another, and Demi's drama show.
All the media is getting spoiled. It's not a real spoiler, but basically it's like the very first time I did the show, I did a backflip without having prepared or tried one ever in my life.
That's insane.
I agree.
Where did you do it? On stage?
Yeah, Dynasty Typewriter.
You did it in front of people? You just went for it?
Yeah.
You just stood up and just said, this way.
I was like, the thing is, there was part of me that's like, I should train a little bit beforehand. I should do some practice.
Had you done a front flip?
I mean, on like off of diving boards as a kid and stuff, but it was like I'd never done a backflip.
Very different.
Extremely. And the day of the show, my parents surprised me being like, we're in town to see your show. And I was like, okay, let me get a mat then. So I went and bought like a tiny like gym mat to do the flip. And even like in the time leading up to it, I was at home over Christmas, and I was like, I found this video that was like 25 steps to doing a backflip, and it was like literally just incremental ways that you can learn to do a backflip. I was like, great, this is how I'll prepare. And then I went to the park nearby, and it was too cold, so I just didn't do any of the steps. And I was like, all right, well, I guess now we're leaning in. I'm gonna just do one on stage. I'm gonna throw myself backwards. It's gonna be fine. And I was so much more worried about everything else in the show that I was like, what's the worst that can happen? I go to do the show.
What do you mean? You break your neck.
Yeah.
You die.
There's a level of hubris and invincibility that you have when you are 27 that you just believe it'll be fine. And I was leaning so hard on that. And so we go, I've done the show, and I'm like, wow, all the bits went fine. I did it. That's great. And I go to do the backflip, and it was just like, just throw yourself backwards. Just throw yourself fucking backwards. It's the worst that can happen. And I do this, and I make everyone do a drum roll. And there's a video I have where you can hear people just go, oh, because I've explained to them that I've never done a backflip before in my life. And then I go and I throw myself backwards, and I landed it. But I land in a way where it's like everyone who can do a backflip is like, you came so close to hurting any part of, like, you would have just fucked up your knee, you would have fucked up your toe. It's like, and even when I landed, like, I did that thing of hitting my toe in a way where I just had to pretend. It's like when you make a basketball shot and you just pretend like you do that all the time.
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah. And I get up and I do a little bow, and I'm like, and that's it. And it is fully just like, I'm in so much pain in that moment because I've just fucked up my toe so poorly. And next time I was doing the show, I told a friend of mine, I was like, you are a gymnast, can you teach me how to do a proper backflip? And we went to like a training place to like do a backflip, and it was like I was so nervous every time because a real backflip is just about jumping and like pulling your legs up and letting the momentum flip you over.
If I was your friend and you had told me any of this at 8, I'd say you cannot do this. It would have been like a friend like, stop.
Yeah.
You're going to hurt. What do you went to one
so
session?
Scary.
This is like training. I fantasized about practicing for half a year and maybe getting there. So you did one gym session.
Yeah, we did one gym session, and it was like a lot of assisted flips, and then some where it's just sort of like I didn't land it, or would be like bail in midair.
Yeah,
which
that's
is the
what
secret.
I think would happen.
Exactly, and that's the number one thing that everyone does when they like fuck up a backflip is like you get scared when you're upside down and just sort of like open up, and you're supposed to just let the momentum carry you. But like we did that, and then I was off to London to do the show for a week, and this is
If that was the venue, I'd be like, let's do one night at a time on sale.
So it's so funny that you're saying all this because I get in there and I look at the room, and it's about, I'm like 5'4". The ceiling is maybe 5'8", and so I was just like, whoa, really low ceiling. And they were like, oh, if you're nervous about it, then do you want to just try it ahead of time? And I was like, yes, please. And we do like a dress rehearsal. A lot of the people from the venue are there. And I was just like, yeah, can you give me like a drum roll? Let's pretend we're doing it for real. And I was like, because I was like, it really worked the first time because of the momentum and I was feeling the adrenaline and all that. And I was like, I need
more from you.
Yeah, I was like, I can't hear you. So I went and did it, and I did it 3 times, and each time I fucked up. I landed really poorly, and on the third time,
because now you're nervous, you're going to jump too high.
Yes,
you can't have that.
I can't do
your third backflip ever.
Exactly. I was like freaking out, and then my directors for the show were just like, I think we need to find something else to do, and we sort of figured out a way to make it work and a way for me to do the backflip, and like I won't spoil that because I think it's a fun part of the show, but it was very much like, I think it made the show infinitely better, and like the show that I was doing at that point is one thing that was just like, it'd be fun to do a backflip at the end, and like analyzing why I did that, and then also coming into it from the standpoint of like, how do you do this without hurting yourself, and with like fulfilling the premise and all of these things, made it for so much of a much more fun show and much more interesting, and like opened it up in this way. And I'm actually kind of glad that I got hurt when I did, but it is insane that I. And
you have that first one on film though.
Oh, I think we have 3 of them on, or no, we have 2 of them on film, and they're both in the special.
That's good.
Yeah. Exactly. Where I'm glad that after the first time I fucked up, my director was like, "Let me film this one." And in my head, I'm like, "What was that for? Insurance?" And now I'm like, "No," because he had the foresight to be like, "This could be good."
Yeah.
He had the Gianmarco thought of like, "There's got to be."
Listen, if I tried, I'd definitely be like, "We got to film it in case I get it." And then if I was like dying and my neck was like this, I say to Tovah, I say, "Delete the footage."
You say delete the footage? You wouldn't be like, put it out.
My final crowdwork clip is landing on my head.
Put it out.
Teens have seen worse.
What do you do for work? Hopefully a doctor.
Yeah.
Sure, if I can foresight.
Could you imagine footage of when Steve Irwin died? I looked it up because we talked about it the other day.
No.
We talked about it. But they had it on footage. They were filming.
Oh, they had it.
Yeah. They didn't
yeah.
put it out. They said no one's ever going to see this, but it was filmed.
Yeah.
That's wild.
They had a whole camera team there.
Talk about the fucked up internet thing. It was Live Leak. Do you remember that website?
Yeah. Is that not around anymore?
It might be. There was just like a brief. I was never into, because it always fucked me up. I mean, now it's on Twitter, and some of the stuff is just on Twitter. But there was some stuff on Live Leak that it was like, oh my god, you're like right. There's the horrors of the world.
Yeah.
People were filming it, and Thank God that's not where your special ended up being.
Nope. Thank
Yeah,
God.
oh my God.
Last show.
Could you imagine though, like you try and do a backflip and you make that joke about a doctor and you get a middling laugh. As you die, you're just like,
Come
really?
on, guys.
No, let me try again.
Is this thing on? Let's go on to our next segment. This has got to stop.
This has gotta stop.
Let me write Paige because I need one from our patrons. Can I get a patron? This has got to stop. Oh, by the way, guys, if you're a fan of the show, join the Patreon, patreon.com/downside. We release 4 bonus episodes every month, and then you get a footage from a live thing. One of our live shows, we just released a Q&A Tovah and I did about producing my comedy special, Thief of Joy. Give it a watch. And you get to submit your own This Has Gotta Stops, which we will be cleaner about when we are back in our studio in 2 days with Jim Gaffigan if he doesn't cancel. Do you have a This Has Gotta Stop?
Yes, this has got to stop. We have been conditioned by movie theaters that there's going to be at least 15, 20 minutes of trailers. Okay? So we all know that. And so that's the understanding we have. I think if you're going to actually start the movie right on time, you need to send a note to all of us saying, hey, this isn't the usual case, guys. There's no trailers. We're starting the movie right on time.
Does this happen for one battle after another?
Yes. I missed
It
the
started
first
right on time?
Right on time. I missed the first 3 minutes because I'm at the theater. I'm thinking I got time to pee. I'll get some popcorn. I'm doing the whole thing. I come in. We've started already. I looked down my phone. I saw it the Wednesday before it opened, like Wednesday, and it's 10:30.
You walk in, Sean Penn's got a boner, and you're like, what
10:33,
happened?
and I'm like, what? How are we doing? Like, I was in the lobby. They didn't need to be a bell. We need to be like, hey, we're doing this.
Sure.
Something needs to happen. We've just been taught that there's gonna be so many trailers and things that if you're gonna not have that, that's great. But you gotta let us know.
Can I tell you, evil capitalist perspective?
Yeah.
You will never not be there to watch the previews ever again.
I know.
If they do this once every 10 times, it'll make sure everyone watches
you're right.
those trailers.
You're right. Oh my God.
It is. So my first one is also about trailers.
Yeah. Okay.
This got to stop.
Just movie trailers in general, I don't think we should watch them. I don't think people should complain about them. Not in that way, but in the sense of like people can be like, oh, they're all giving them away. It's like that's what it's for. Just stop watching the movie trailers at all.
Yeah. Don't complain about trailers.
Don't complain about trailers being too spoilery. Don't complain about the marketing being good or being bad. You just have to stop watching the marketing. It's not for you.
About the coloring. How many times are we going to talk about Wicked and like that thing going around?
People just want a thing to talk about.
Yes.
And I get that, but in the end of the day, it's like these are trailers made for your aunt who watches one movie a year.
Yes.
If you're complaining that it's like they're showing everything, it's like because your aunt needs to know every beat. Okay, if you want to see a movie and you are someone who watches movies, just go. Like you don't need it to be marketed to you. I'm sick of people just complaining in a way where it's Charlie Brown kicking the football. It's like how many times do you fall for this? You have to understand.
I get that. I get that. We'll come back. Do you have more?
Sure.
Great. Let me do one of our Patreons. Yeah. So we got it from Paige. From our Patreon. Again, submit your own This Gotta Stop by joining the Patreon, patreon.com/downside. This has got to stop. Using your phone in the movie theater. Wow. We're doing a movie theater.
Wow.
Allison said, this has got to stop. Using your phone in the movie theater on full brightness, and especially if you're sitting more down front. Like, why do I now have a white spot in my vision when I blink from your bright-ass phone? And they are always doing something so useless on it, like scrolling Facebook or checking sports, as opposed to curing cancer. 100% agree.
Yeah.
I do look at my phone sometimes. I sit in the back row. I am purposeful about it. I do think about turning down the brightness. I understand why some people would still tell me to go fuck myself. But if you're going to use your phone, gotta turn the brightness low.
You got
at the very least.
It's the one moment where I get my courage back, where I'll be sitting in the theater. If I see someone with their phone, I'll be like, can you turn that off? Can you fucking turn it off?
Yeah.
I will. One of the worst, well, not one of the worst. It's just, it was bad for me. I went this last Valentine's Day, my ex and I were in London. We went to see Portrait of a Lady on Fire, one of my favorite movies.
Oh, I saw that.
In the world.
We talked about it with my girlfriend the other day.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's one of my favorite movies of all time. It is so beautiful, and it was already like sort of a rocky day. It was Valentine's Day, but we went to go see it in London at the Prince Charles Cinema. I was so excited to see it on the big screen again. There's a kid who couldn't be older than 24 next to us, and she just starts taking her phone out and like taking photos of the screen on full brightness. My ex grabs my knee, being like, "Don't," and knowing that I'm like already just being like, "What? Why would she?" Because it's also like a new movie. I can understand someone being like, "I want to prove that I was here," but I'm like, this movie's been out for years.
Yeah,
like, you
yeah,
don't.
yeah.
What are you proving? Like, I don't understand it anyway. And it keeps happening. And at some point, I'm just sort of like, can you turn your phone off? And she just goes, mind your business. And I was like, I can't mind my business because you're fucking screen. And she was just like. And so, like, the next time it happened, I got up and, like, walked in front of the screen and went to go tell the usher, and they came and, like, they took her phone away and stood next to the side. I was just like, I felt like this is insane that I have to do this, but also it pisses me off that, like...
You're in the right. You're in the
Yeah,
right.
I am in
yeah.
the right. I have been to many, like, it's screening season. I've been to a lot of guild screenings lately for movies, and it's weird how screenings full of people who work in the film industry are the screenings that have the most talking, the most people pulling their phones out.
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah,
just
yeah.
like, what is, like, how do you guys not understand this? Like,
Sure.
it's wild.
Now, if I'm looking at my phone, you be honest, if I'm looking at my phone, brightness all the way down like this, are you saying, hey, get off your fucking phone?
It depends. If I can't see it, or if I can see that you are trying to be quick about it, or even just like it depends. It's really just like if you are making no attempt to even think about the idea that other people can see your screen, then I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
If it's a really funny tweet, would you make an exception?
I'd be like, let me see that tweet. Let me see it.
Well,
You call this a fucking
Tim
joke?
Dillon.
I
Get
like.
the fuck-
I hadn't been to the Alamo Draft House, and I gotta say that they do it better than some of the other dine-in places. And they had a very specific rule. This is where I went yesterday to the movies. That if they see you or get two complaints, they see you with a phone out, or get two complaints about you with a phone, you have to leave with no refund. And they play a little fun clip of a woman complaining to their customer service about getting kicked out for having her phone out, and it's a fun little. You're like, oh yeah, I liked it. It was very quiet, you know.
Even though I'm addicted to my phone and I do sometimes check, and it was a great movie. It's not like I was on my phone. I checked it maybe once. I'm all for rules about phones and taking them, putting them in a thing, putting them in a box, putting them in a thing. I think
we're at a point where we all need it.
Yeah.
Like,
and the
like,
excuses are no longer ringing true. Of like, my dad, he's about to die. Well, then why are you seeing the movie?
Yeah, I'm like, go to the lobby.
Go to the lobby. If your dad's about to die, go to the lobby.
Oh, my dad really wants to know what happens in After the Hunt. So.
Yeah. This has got to stop, which I'll make movie related too. I have a lot of obtrusive thoughts in the movie theater about
shootings.
Me
too.
Yeah. And
always.
Here's the problem: is I swear this movie, because it was so good, and people didn't want to miss anything. This is how people are leaving their seat.
Oh my god! Yes.
Yeah.
Can't do that.
And I'm going like, I don't know. And I try to talk to myself. I'm like, they put the gun in the bathroom and they have to go get it and come back.
Maybe.
Like The Godfather?
Yeah. But it happened last night multiple times.
Yeah.
And every time the door swung open, I was like looking, and in my head, I get caught and I'm like, I always reason, I go, they wouldn't do it on a Sunday night 9:30 screening. There's some empty chairs here. They'd wait.
Yeah.
It's kind of like sometimes I'll take a flight. Those thoughts have gone away because I do it so much. But I'll be like, they wouldn't do it on a Friday.
That's exactly what I think all the time.
But if it's like a packed Monday morning, I'm like, this would fuck up the economy for a couple days.
That's so funny. At the show the other night, a guy on the aisle row got up quickly and like started running, and I had that same like, what is happening? Yeah. But this guy, I guess he had to go to the bathroom so bad, I found out later, but he ran so fast and so aggressively up the aisle at the theater, and didn't realize that when you enter that theater, there's stairs to go up and then go down.
Yeah.
Didn't realize there's stairs, so he ran straight up the aisle, ran through, hit the door, went through, part of his leg went through the door, put a hole in the wood door in the So I'm on stage, I see this guy basically like Bugs Bunny, like run off a cliff and hit the thing.
You're like, I got it.
The doors swing wide open and there's a yelp, and I'm like, what has happened?
At that point, are you like, we have to stop the show?
No, because then the doors closed, and I was like, okay, I didn't hear any more noise.
Yeah.
But later on, I asked the house manager, and she's like, yeah. She's like, he was young, so he like lucked out, because if that happened to someone, like, they would have been dead.
Yeah.
He went through the door, like, and there's a hole in the door they had to fix, but he just had to go to the bathroom really bad.
God.
Yeah.
Imagine you're on stage though, and you start hearing like pots and pans and like Looney Tunes. Yo! Like, what do you do?
You have another discuss up?
Yeah.
Tell us.
I wrote a few down. I was like,
Tell
should
us.
I continue in the
Whatever you like.
Yeah.
All right. I will say this has got to stop. Ironic watching. I think, and I say this as someone who loves to just watch something that's so bad it's good, but I do feel like we are at a point now where, and this is especially with TV, when something is trying to be good and it misses the mark, people won't give it a shot. If it's a 7 out of 10, it's like, too bad, you should have been a 10. If it is a 3 out of 10, it becomes the most popular thing on Netflix and they make 10 seasons.
Interesting.
And therefore, no one wants to make things that are good anymore. It's just like, if you have something that is like lowbrow that can be sold to a wide cast of people, we'll make it for cheap, we'll make it shitty, and that's just what streaming like manufactures. And now, if you want to make something, it's like, it's thoughtful, it's good, it's just like, you have to have 10 stars behind it because it's got to be actually good.
Yeah.
And it's harder to make anything.
And right out of the gate, we don't have time to like have like a they're finding their thing
100%
kind of season. Yeah.
But what's a show people are enjoying ironically right now? First you spilled your water all over your mic, and we ignored it because we were talking about race relations in America. And then you're pulling this wires.
Hey.
This new studio.
I can talk about race relations again if you want to.
You're like, racist in America? What's something people are enjoying like ironically right now?
I'm trying to think of right now, but this was a big thing that I kept thinking about with Emily in Paris, where it's just like every response is, this show sucks, and it's like, oh my god,
and
they
just
renewed
like that,
it. I'm like,
a little bit.
and just like that, I don't think it's what's happening with The Summer I Turned Pretty, but I think there's a little bit of people being like, I can't believe everyone's watching this, than watching it themselves, and I'm like, they're renewing these shows because you're watching them, and I understand that it's like, well, in some way that's us saying we do want to see this shit, like it's somehow that's how I feel about
slop. Yeah,
and I do feel like when sometimes I'll watch like a superhero movie and I'm like, I'm watching this because it's so easy. I really don't have to think, and therefore I'm ignoring some other movies like that. And it's like, well, they're gonna keep making them that way. I understand that. In my brain, I am admitting though, it's like, I do like that.
Yeah,
and it's like, you have to admit that you enjoy these things, or you have to stop watching them ironically.
Yeah. I get that. And just like that, I couldn't. I don't know. I don't irony watch too often because my girl, she'll be like, yeah, this thing, it's like, it's not good, but it's like, and I'm like, then I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah.
And
I think it's like, there is a thing of like, yes, sometimes you want something that is just slop, but I think sometimes people will just check in to be like, oh, I got to see if like, I think it also happens with people we hate, where it's like, people are just like, Ben Shapiro's doing another thing. It's like, then don't watch it. Or it's like, Jubilee did this video where they had 20 concerts. Like, stop sharing this shit.
Yeah.
Stop putting this stuff on our feeds. It's just to be like, this thing sucks. It's like, they only see numbers. They see a streaming number. They see views, and now we have to see 20 more of those because you want to share how bad it is.
It is. I definitely find myself watching more Charlie Kirk than I ever planned to in my entire life.
Right.
And I'm like, what am I looking for here? What am I seeking?
Yeah.
And do I like a low level hum of being angry?
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of people do.
I think so too. It makes them feel.
Yeah. Tom McDonald is the one. He's the Canadian rapper. Have you ever seen him?
Yes. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and it's like every time there's a new song, Gavin Newsom is the devil or whatever, and he posts it like 10 different times. I don't know what it is. I watch it and I go and I tweet something.
Yeah.
It gets likes, and then that reinforces me, and that shares his video. And 3 people who saw my tweet said, actually, this is a banger. And then he got new fans.
Correct.
Yeah.
That's the other thing that happens. It's like you expose it to an audience of people who would have never seen it, and they're just like, I don't get why everyone's so hard on this guy. I actually kind of like him.
And then people say, well, then I would go further. Then there's the cycle of everyone goes, guys, if you don't like it, stop sharing it. And it's like, well, that doesn't work. That hasn't changed anything.
Yes.
We're still doing it. And it does help that person, but I don't know how to change the culture.
Yeah. The question is, are we trying to change something by sharing it and saying it sucks? Or are we just trying to be like, everyone look at this and see that it sucks? Everyone dunk on this. Everyone reinforce my feeling that this is awful.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know what the answer is, but I am just like, I think that people become grifters because they realize it's the producer's thing. It's so much easier to make money with a flop than it is with a fucking hit. And I just, Can you
imagine the producers, but it's Tom McDonald. That's what they bring on Tom McDonald concert.
I can.
You have one less that's got to stop?
I got one that's not fun. That's like a...
Do it.
No, let's do it.
White women calling black men wholesome.
Oh.
Interesting.
This is a microaggression that I've felt for years. It has been a big thing with me with the September videos where people are just like, I love how wholesome this. I'm just like, I have a tweet that I've been saying for ages where I'm like, I put up a tally every time that a white person calls me wholesome, and when I hit 1,000, I'm going to buy a gun. Like it is what you are really saying is like, you're not how we usually see black men.
Yeah.
It is very,
Yes.
it is going, you're not threatening. It is weirdly desexualizing. It is this feeling of like, I feel safe around you, and therefore I'm gonna talk to you the way I talk about a puppy. And I think people do it with me a lot because I'm a smaller black man also, and so it's just like, it's sort of like this cute kind of talk in a way that I'm always just like, I think you aren't seeing me as a person as much as you are as an idea that's an antithesis to your idea of black men, and it makes me feel crazy.
And you think you're doing a nice thing too.
Yes.
They think they're like being like,
Well, that's the struggle I imagine with like. I imagine the person who says that, if they heard your feelings on it, would go, "Whoa! I was just trying to be nice."
Completely.
And it's like, how do you break through that? Because I would imagine that no one is more stubborn than someone who thinks they were actually being really
100%.
good.
And I think that's why another reason is like, this is going to be a thing, but it's like, I think if you would describe any other people that way, like I don't see a lot of white, tall men described as wholesome, no matter how their style of comedy, unless it's something that they are leaning into as being like, I don't cuss or whatever. It's like, that's not me though. It's fully just they're seeing me as someone who like doesn't do things that they ascribe to black men, and then they call me wholesome. I'm like, this doesn't feel like you. It just feels so like a microaggression.
It's like that, or like articulate.
Yes.
Or so well spoken.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know how do you get the average person to. You almost want to like show them a chart, like, hey, look, here's a word. What are those word diagrams?
Clouds.
Here's word clouds. This is how you've talked about white people you like. Let's talk about black people you like. Look how the difference here.
Yeah.
Why is this difference?
Right.
Because it totally makes sense.
Yes.
Like I totally can imagine people write that.
And I feel like it is just something that I've noticed because it happens to me a lot.
Yeah.
But I also think it's never taking someone's personality into account as a whole. It is fully just looking at one thing and being like, I like this because when I see black people, I usually see them doing this. And I feel like with me, it's also a thing that I'm very sensitive about because I think my audience is so largely white, and that has always been a thing that I'm just like, why is this? I'm not doing white comedy. What is going on here? And so the idea that like white people look at me and describe me as wholesome and are just like, oh, I like your stuff so much, and I don't usually like your. I'm like, interesting. And it's like, I think it's a very much a perspective that I have on this.
What do you think it is about the art that you put out that results in a white audience?
I think it is largely class. I think as I grew up around so many white people that my influences are white, and it's like my friends have always been predominantly white and Asian because that's who I grew up around. And so like there are times where in order for me to be in a more naturally black audience, like I have to work to do that, and my comedy is the same way, where it's like my influences are just the same as my white peers' influences, which means it's like white comics and all these things and places. And it's like, it's not that I don't see or take in black comedy, it's just that because what I'm reflecting is also what works for the people around me as well as it is what I'm enjoying. It's like, as much as I love Patrice O'Neal and Barbershop and Cat Williams and all these things, it's like, if I did jokes like that or things of that style, then the people that I'm naturally around wouldn't reflect that to me as something that they enjoy or understand. So it's like, you're only a mirror of the things around you.
And there's a degree where like, I don't know if you'd consider, I mean, alt comedy feels almost like these terms are so dated, but I feel like your comedy, certainly it's of someone who's been steeped in internet comedy for a long time, and comedy in general, which ultimately like UCB and that kind of sketch, that has been a lot of it. And alt is kind of like you have this base and you're flipping it in certain ways,
right?
And so it's reflective of like a certain realm of comedy that was very people had money to go to the UCB classes and white, and that's interesting though. That's do you think of it in terms of like, if I look out at an audience for my own self, if I go like, and I certainly have had the thoughts where I go, if there's ever a lack of diversity, I go, okay, I got to make sure that I'm not like, I want a diverse audience.
Yeah.
I want a diverse audience. That is like, because I just want to be able to speak to many different people of different backgrounds and whatever.
Totally.
And so I think about like, sometimes I ask myself, what would I need to do differently? What am I not doing?
Yeah.
Where am I not going? It could be anything. It could be venues. It could be cities. It could be price points. And like, do you think about it all, like when you look at your greater career, because you are someone who makes your own shows.
Yeah.
Like, do you think about what you would? Is it part of you as you think about new stuff?
Oh, absolutely. And I think...
do you go to Edinburgh and you go, maybe this wasn't the move to diversify my audience?
There's not a lot of black people here. I don't know. No, I do think about it in terms of, like, how do I diversify my audience? And sometimes I'm like, the only thing I can do is just make more comedy that, like, feels like, oh, these jokes are designed to appeal to more diverse people. And sometimes I'll be like, a white person might not get this joke, and that's fine. It's for me, or it's for other audiences. But then there are some times where it's like, I think about it in a way that I'm like, I'm actually scared to do this kind of thing because I'm, in the past, like, white people have taken this and treated it very differently.
Back to your original Space Jam thing.
Yes, and this is something that's been happening a lot with stuff I've done lately. I did a thing on Dropout where I did a presentation of what cartoon characters are invited to the cookout, which was very fun. But then every so often, white people will DM me and be like, "Hey, is this guy invited to the cookout?" And I'm like, "I think that you are maybe. I love that you're engaging with my comedy. I think you're doing it in a way where you're." Forgetting to address the nation or the nature of the cookout as a black thing, and are just trying to be like the goofiness of it.
Yeah.
I have a thing in my special, which is a bit of me trying to fix racism by inventing something called Racism 2, which is just a new form of it. And in this, I've like introduced new stereotypes where the joke is like just pulling out the idea of like how stereotypes are so fundamentally flawed and whatnot. And one of the first times I did this at a Backflip show, a guy came up to me after a show and was just like, I really love that. And there was a Hispanic woman elsewhere in the room. And there's a bit in the thing where I say, like, the very first stereotype I introduce is about Latina women, and I just have the word Latina women pop on screen. Everyone's like, oh God, where's this going? And then I say, are 6'2", no taller, no shorter, just to be like, yeah, that's insane. What do you mean that's so specific?
Yeah.
There's a Hispanic woman in the room, and he's talking to me, and he points to her and just goes, she's looking pretty, 6'2", huh? And I was just like, I have to change this. I have to I was just like, because it's like you think that by doing a thing where to you the joke is I'm upending the idea of racism, being like these stereotypes that we have accepted for so long are based in nothing more than just a very specific and like outdated thing. But all he saw was funny thing to say, and I'm going to be fake racist. And I was like, I actually cannot under any circumstances allow that. And it's like that kind of thing where it's like you think you're doing jokes that like to an audience where it's like they're gonna understand it, it's great, we're all on the same page, but because there's just this fundamental difference of like how certain people interact with that kind of thing, it's just like, oh, I have no control over that.
No control. I remember I featured in Long Island, I think, and the headliner was a black comedian. And he talked on stage. He's like every time after shows, and he was joking about it. White people come up and they say, "I know a really racist joke. You want to hear it?" Oh. And he had a whole bit about how much he hated it, and it was funny and it was well constructed. And then I really got the rare opportunity where we're both selling merch at the end, and I got to be next to him to hear everything people said. And it was like two older white guys immediately said, I got a really racist joke, you want to hear it? And it was also the thing of like, I know you said out there, but I got a really racist
I know it's a joke, but in any context, I'm like, then drop it.
And then I remember, and then one of them said, I always remember, he's the bathrooms always had pictures of the headliners or whatever, you know, and he said, I saw that they had the picture of you over the urinal, and I was like, what is this, America's Most Wanted? And I remember he was like I'm done, and he went to the bar, and this was it's one of those things, I don't know, because it's one of those things people don't understand, and especially when microaggression, I feel like as a term has become so like made fun of as a thing, like, oh my God, I can't do a single thing. Yeah. And it's like, I think people don't understand the volume is part of the aspect of it. It's not that one person said wholesome. It's not that one person, one older dumbass, like it's constant.
Yes. Yeah.
It's fucking, you can't escape it. And it's similar, my friend, my opener, Liam Nelson, he's 7 feet.
Liam Nelson is his name?
Yeah.
Crazy.
It's tough.
Yeah.
And Andy's 7 feet. And I just see the way the world constantly
reminds
him and asks him.
Oh yeah.
And he's come to peace in his own way. He has a funny bit that he's worked out. Essentially, like the only thing that makes me more mad than when someone asks me how tall I am is when they don't. and so but like there's something where I'm like, we lack as a society, separate from race, even in this particular case, of like, can you not conceive that if you have this thought, can you ask yourself how many other people are having this exact thought?
Yeah.
And then that's a general like politeness culture thing. And then combine that with racism in America, and it's like it's fucking more than offensive sometimes. It's annoying as fuck.
And when it happens on a public scale, and it's like I want nothing more than to be like, hey, fuck you. But I'm like, whoa, I can't ruin the vibe. That's when I really like.
And your fuck you might have the weight behind it of the 30. You want to get all 30 here and say fuck all of you.
And there are times where they think it's a compliment. I was taping my special, and at the end of my special, I'm essentially just in like a pair of shorts. And so it's like, the joke is like, yes, everyone's very aware of my body in this thing. And I went and did a Q&A because we were like stopped down to tape a bunch of stuff. And it was literally just like, does anyone have any questions? I'll answer anything. And I go up into the audience to answer a question, and someone's just like, I gotta ask, do you like lift your butt or something? Like, how do you make it look so big? And I was just like, I guess I gotta just play with this. But I was like, I wanted to be like, don't ever fucking talk about my ass to me. Are you fucking kidding me? What's wrong with you? Yeah. Because I do think people love to talk to me about, like, I'll be dancing and someone just come and be like, your ass is so, oh my God. And I'm like, okay, I don't know what to do with that. Because I'm like, you're not hitting on me. You're just trying to make me aware of my body in a way that you think is a compliment. But I'm just sort of like, great. This throws me back to when I was like in 4th grade and wore big coats because I just felt bad about my body.
Yeah.
And it just feels like this, it's so racially coded, and it's so just a thing where I'm like, all I can do is just go, thank you. But like, what I really want to do is like, don't fucking do that.
Yeah. And it's like, how, and then nothing gets done. And then that person, I'm sure that person would go like, no, I want a butt too. I would kill for a butt. And it's like,
great.
How do you get through to the tough lessons to learn? And it just feels like the talks about microaggressions, it feels like the way they were discussed, again, in a corporate way, backfired with certain people, and no lessons were learned. No. Sucks.
It really is that thing though, where you're like, you're just firing off the first thing that popped into your dumb skull.
Yeah.
Like, and you're like, and there's no sort of.
But that's where I go. Like, it is also like a combo of like politeness and like thinking, and then it's just combined. It's an awful cocktail.
They're trying
of bad human behavior.
They're trying to connect with you, but in a way that sort of makes it feel like they're the first person to have this thought, like you said, and it does just feel like.
And you see them every other aspect of their life, even outside of this microaggression. They must be so annoying, like,
but also
like
so
the
free.
kind of conversations that they have with people. It'll be like, the weather is blah blah blah. You know, like, oh yeah, you know, like, yeah.
Do you ever get jealous thinking about them though? Just being like, you don't have any fear. You just like, you said the first thing in your you don't have it, like the shame that follows you being like, I don't want to make anyone feel bad. Like, I'm just like, there's a little bit of that in it for me. We're just like, you're that confident, huh? God damn.
Let's go on to our final segment. You better count your blessing.
You better count your blessing.
We'll go quick. Thank you for letting us go a little bit over. My blessing. Russell, you go first.
My blessing is Paul Thomas Anderson. I just love his movies, and I'm very thankful. There's a new one out, and everyone go see it. And I had a great time.
Speaking of that movie, my blessing is there was a small role that I auditioned for to be in that movie.
Oh.
And it is a blessing when the person who gets the role is 30 years older than you.
Yeah.
And you're like, it wasn't my acting.
Leo.
You just went with, Leo. What's your blessing?
My blessing is dancing. It's the greatest joy of my life, and I do feel like there's so many times I go to a new city where it's like, what do I do? And it's like, there's always a line dance community I can go where I just feel at home, and it's like I'm exercising, I'm in community, there's people around me, and I'm like, these people are beautiful. I'm like, well, I feel beautiful. I get the dopamine, I get all of it. It's just, it makes me feel so loved and loving. Yeah. So happy.
That's line dancing. It's good for getting a nice ass.
And thank you for pointing it out. Thank you.
Jesus.
No, I'm kidding.
But you see, someone and you have context.
Exactly. And honestly, in the joke context, fine. But in someone coming up after a show and just being like, I gotta, I'm like, what do you want me to do here? Anyway.
Where can people find you?
I'm on almost every platform at Electrolemon.
And when's the special come out?
I wish I knew. I think sometime in November. I really should ask.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good. But you felt good about the taping.
I did, yeah.
Check it out. Dropout. Where you can also see me on the new episode of Crowd Control, episode 2 of their first season. Russell, where can people find you?
At Russell J. Daniels. Ginger Twinsies closing October 25th, so come see it soon.
And I'll be in Philly this weekend for like 8 shows. It's going to be good. Come on out. And again, join the Patreon. Bonus episodes. We're building up. A lot of things coming down the pipeline. Thank you so much. This is The Downside. Now, Russell, do a backflip.
Oh my God!
You got this. You got this.
Ready?
No, I'm too
Do a
busy.
somersault.
Okay, yeah. I'll slow motion somersault.
Thank you so much, Demi.
Thank you so much for having me.
Downside.
That was a Headgum podcast.